The silver ship landed on Earth with barely a sound. Commander Zara of the Alterian fleet stepped onto human soil for the first time. Her blue skin shimmered under the strange yellow sun, and her large violet eyes scanned the landing zone. She had come to evaluate humanity for her empire. The report said humans were weak, primitive, and unworthy of notice. She was wrong. Captain Jake Miller approached her landing craft with steady steps. His brown hair caught the sunlight, and his green eyes held no fear. Behind him walked Lieutenant Amy Brooks, her blonde hair tied back in military style. The human delegation looked calm, almost relaxed. Zara had expected cowering. She had expected begging. Instead, Jake smiled and extended his hand. "Welcome to Earth, Commander Zara. We hope your stay is pleasant." The casual confidence in his voice made her pause. In her experience, lesser species trembled before Alterian power. These humans seemed different. Jake's handshake was firm and warm. His skin felt strange against her cool blue flesh, but not unpleasant. "I am here to assess your species," Zara announced. "The Alterian Empire will decide your fate." Amy stepped forward with a friendly grin. "That sounds important. Would you like some coffee while you work? We make excellent coffee." Coffee, Zara had never heard of such a thing, but she found herself curious about these humans who offered refreshments to their potential conquerors. She agreed to visit their military base. The human facility impressed her immediately. It was not the crude structure she expected. The technology, while different from Alterian designs, showed remarkable ingenuity. Jake led her through corridors filled with bustling activity. Everyone she met greeted her politely without fear. "Your people seem unconcerned about my presence," Zara observed. Jake shrugged. "Should we be concerned? We prefer to judge visitors by their actions, not their reputations." This philosophy puzzled her. The Alterians ruled through fear and demonstration of power, yet these humans offered kindness to a stranger who held their world's future in her hands. Dr. Lisa Carter joined them in the main briefing room. The red-haired scientist carried data tablets and wore an excited expression. "Commander Zara, we prepared some information about our planet. We thought you might find it interesting." The presentation began, and Zara watched in growing amazement. Humans had transformed their world from a primitive state to something remarkable in mere centuries. They had ended diseases, explored space, and created art that touched her alien heart. But what struck her most was their unity. Despite obvious physical differences, humans worked together across all boundaries. She saw dark-skinned leaders, pale technicians, people of every size and shape contributing to their civilization. "How do you achieve such cooperation?" Zara asked. Amy answered with simple honesty. "We learned that our differences make us stronger. Every person brings something valuable." The words hit Zara like a plasma bolt. Her own empire maintained order through rigid hierarchy and fear. These humans had found strength in acceptance and mutual respect. Jake invited her to observe their military exercises. She expected crude displays of violence. Instead, she witnessed precise coordination and protective instincts. When Private Kevin Stone fell during a training drill, his squad mates immediately rushed to help him. No one thought of personal advancement or leaving him behind. "Your warriors protect their weak," Zara noted. "We protect our people," Jake corrected gently. "Kevin isn't weak. He's learning." We all started somewhere. That evening, they invited her to share a meal. The dining hall buzzed with conversation and laughter. Sergeant Maria Lopez told stories that made everyone smile. Corporal Danny White shared pictures of his family. These soldiers, who should have been preparing for possible conquest, instead welcomed her as a guest. The coffee Amy had promised proved to be a rich, warm drink that energized and comforted simultaneously. Zara found herself relaxing in ways she had never experienced. The humans asked about her world, her journey, her impressions of Earth. They listened with genuine interest to her answers. "Why are you being so kind to me?" she finally asked. "I could recommend your destruction." Dr. Carter looked surprised by the question. "Because you're here and you're our guest. Why would we treat you badly?" Jake nodded in agreement. "Besides, if you wanted to destroy us, being cruel wouldn't change that outcome. We choose to hope you'll see who we really are." Their logic was flawed by Alterian standards, yet undeniably powerful. Zara felt something shifting inside her chest, an emotion she couldn't name. These humans trusted her despite the threat she represented. They offered friendship without expecting anything in return. The next day, Jake took her to see more of their world. They visited schools where children of all backgrounds learned together. They saw hospitals where doctors treated anyone who needed help. They watched artists create beauty for its own sake, not for profit or propaganda. At a small park, they sat on a bench and watched families play. Children laughed and ran while parents smiled and talked. An elderly man fed birds from a bag of breadcrumbs. A young couple held hands and watched the sunset. "This is what we protect," Jake said quietly. "Not territory or resources, but moments like this. The right to live freely, to choose our own paths, to find happiness in simple things." Zara stared at the peaceful scene. In her empire, such gatherings would be monitored, controlled, regulated. Here, people simply existed and enjoyed existence. The freedom felt both terrifying and wonderful. "Your empire would destroy this," Jake continued, his voice sad but not accusatory. "Not from evil, but because you don't understand it. You see chaos where we see life?" She wanted to argue, to defend her civilization's order and purpose. But watching a small girl help her grandfather feed the birds, Zara realized Jake spoke truth. The Alterians would see inefficiency and disorder. They would impose structure and eliminate what they called waste. They would destroy everything beautiful about humanity. That night, alone in her quarters, Zara composed her report. Her fingers hesitated over the communication device. Standard protocol demanded she recommend immediate subjugation or elimination. Humans possessed dangerous ideas about freedom and cooperation. But those same ideas had touched something deep in her soul. She thought about Amy's casual kindness, Jake's steady courage, and Dr. Carter's eager curiosity. She remembered the taste of coffee, the sound of children's laughter, and the warmth of human acceptance. These people had shown her possibilities she never imagined. Her report would determine the fate of billions. Zara began typing with firm resolve. She classified humans as a protected species, worthy of alliance rather than conquest. She recommended immediate diplomatic relations and cultural exchange. Most importantly, she requested permanent assignment as Alterian ambassador to Earth. The Empire would question her decision. Some would call her soft, possibly traitorous. But she had learned something from humanity that her own people had forgotten. Sometimes the greatest strength comes from choosing compassion over conquest. Jake found her the next morning as she prepared to transmit her report. "Sending word home?" "Yes," she replied. "I'm recommending that humanity be left in peace." His smile could have powered their entire base. "Thank you, Zara, that means everything to us." "Thank you," she corrected. "You showed me that strength isn't about domination. It's about lifting others up, protecting what matters, and choosing hope over fear." Amy approached with 2 cups of coffee. "So what happens now?" Zara accepted the warm drink gratefully. "Now I ask my empire for permission to stay. Earth needs an ambassador, and I need to learn more about being human." Jake laughed, a sound full of joy and acceptance. "You're welcome here as long as you want to stay." Looking around at her new friends, Zara realized she had found something worth more than conquest or glory. She had found a home among people who valued her not for her power or position, but simply for who she chose to be. The human way was indeed powerful, not because it conquered others, but because it conquered hearts. And Zara's heart, like her future, now belonged with humanity.